Thank you, Joe. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Woohoo! Wanya, thank you all for being here, and I want to express my acknowledgements and gratitude to the custodians of this country, Darkinjung, the ancestors, past, present, and emerging. I acknowledge with an open heart that I may be even more open, that as we gather here all together, we take this journey in unity, founded in the intention of everything that is unity. May we welcome truth, that which is truth beyond our own individual self. And whatever truth comes that aligns with us, each as a unique individual, may we welcome whatever is true for us in this moment, and perhaps what is not, whatever comes through that may belong to someone else. We bless this and let it flow on its way with love and equal gratitude. Always the first principle for us in sitting deeply, in reconnecting, is dadari, which is receptivity. We have a great Aunty Miriam Rose of the desert country who has taught a lot about this, and a lot of people are familiar with the notion of dari as listening. We can take it deeper and further than this. Dari is being completely open and receptive. And for any journey, this is how we have to begin. We have to surrender to what is here. We have to surrender to the environment, to all that is. We have to surrender our mind. We have to surrender the conditions we've come with. And unless we do, things can be a little awry. And I think those of you who've already been here over the last day or so know there's been a lot of disturbed energies. It's time for us to really bring the energy in, surrender, open, welcome the powers that are here to support us, to guide us, to teach us, to unify us. And so Darari means your whole being opens. I want you to just really feel and contemplate this for a few moments. What does it mean for you to be Darari? Your heart is going to be telling you something now. Don't worry about this crazy, noisy mind business. What is happening in your heart? What is happening here in your core? What is happening in your body? Darari. Darari. Open. Think of your five senses. They are the gateways of receptivity, this openness. Darari. Listening. Hearing. Watching, seeing. Watch. Be the seeing. Feel. Be the feeling. Is this warm, cool? Is it a breeze saying, come, go, surrender, be here, be still? What is this? What is the fragrance that is here? Be fully receptive. The trees are breathing into you now. The earth, she is sending her fragrance into your being. The spirits of every blade of grass, every leaf, tree, the roots, the insects, the birds, every one of you emitting an energy. Where do you start? Where do you end? Where is the beginning? But the eternal continuum. Darari, open and open and open. I'm waiting to feel you drop into this openness. So take some moments now, close your eyes, and when I can feel we as an organism, this tapestry of all connected being, as we drop deep, we will invite a singing in. And when we come into this singing in, I want you to feel through this complete openness of your heart, your mind, your soul, and every sense of your being, that you are receiving that which is in truth, that which is the truth belonging to us all, that which is the truth that you need to know and hear now, that you welcome the guides of this place, this country, of the earth beneath us, the trees, the river, the clouds, the mountains, every rock, every insect, that you are welcoming this. You are welcoming the learning, because it is here in this deep surrender, dadari openness, that with this learning we can truly integrate, ground, embody, and from this bring forward that which we seek to be, truly unified, healing, dreaming in all that is in the name of sacredness. Take these moments to open. As you do, connect deeply to your breath. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth now. 3 deep, full breaths, fully receiving and fully surrendering. And fully receiving. Breathing in all that is here. Breathing out, surrendering, letting be. And again, breathing in. Ilang la jinma ilang amala ngali gumra marama Yila manama Here now, you are fully arrived, present. Here, earth holding each and every one of us. Here, take a deep breath into your innermost core, breathing deep into the source of being, that here within you is the eternal that always has been, that always is. And as you breathe within this, gently affirm to yourself, I am here. Yela, yela nangala. Burmu, 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 burmu. Ngali kumara. Yela ngala. Nganga ngalmala. Ngali ngali kumara. Here now, Ngali Kumara, we are one. One living fabric. Earth, air, fire, water, spirit. Here our guides support us. Here we welcome the learning that our soul seeks. We welcome the truth, whether through fire, air, water, or earth. Perhaps there are tears here within you. Perhaps there is rage, whatever it is. Really acknowledge this. What has not been acknowledged? Take a look inside. Take a look inside your body, mind, soul. Where is it you have held disconnection? Is it the way you treat your body, the words you tell yourself? Is it the actions you choose? Is it your relations? Let your being speak to you now. You're going to be shown a very particular habit or condition that is part of your disconnect. And you know it. Your soul knows it. The clever ego might want to dance around it with all sorts of stories and justification. But no, truth, it cannot be silenced. It will be making itself known in your body, your mind, your emotions, your spirit, in your life, in the world around you. What has this last 24 hours been representing, been teaching us? What has been disconnected, misaligned? And this is not something you have to speak or share with everyone else or anyone else. It is a truth that needs to be acknowledged and recognized within you. Take some moments to acknowledge this. And now as you welcome this, what is the message, the teaching? Where is it pointing you? What direction are you being shown? Because with every disconnection is the calling to come back into deeper connection. Are we ever fully connected, or is it a constant journey, a constant process? This sense of separating, reuniting, things coming together, things falling apart. But where is your attention being pointed to bring deeper integration of your connection now? What is the message behind that wound of disconnection? Really welcome this now into your heart. Breathe deeply. Listen. As you welcome this and acknowledge this now, take some moments to give thanks. Perhaps you will bring your palms together at your heart in sacred reverence for whatever this learning and teaching is, that it is guiding you into greater love, greater openness and gentleness, softness. That here, in all this openness, in whatever this vulnerability is, that you find true power. For it is only in us being honest about our vulnerabilities, about our disconnections, that we can find greater power of connection. Let us bow to this learning with deep gratitude. And now that you have given your thanks and we have acknowledged this business of brokenness, because even in its micro form, this brokenness runs through us all, through all humans, and it is the thing we need to acknowledge to be able to move forward and grow, to be truly authentic. So now that we've acknowledged this, let's welcome the heart space of intention. You received perhaps a message or a vision or a teaching, a learning of how you are welcoming greater connection. I want you to really breathe into this now. Let's welcome the space of this learning, this teaching. Welcome it. And welcome that you don't even know everything about it yet. Acknowledge, yes, there is more that will come to me from the earth beneath my feet, the trees that surround me, the river. The people that I pass by that I might not even look at or acknowledge are an extension of me and my learning, and I am an extension of them and their learning. In this way, we are truly Ngali Gumara, Ngali Gumara, one not one, many as one, Ngali Gumara. As we welcome this intention, breathe again deeply into your heart and ask here, what is true for you now, your truest intention, to be here over this passage, to be here with each and every person, to be here with this country, with all its creatures. What is your heart's deepest intention? And now I want you to really step fully into this intention. If you are here now, arrived, already embodying this intention, how do you look? How do you feel? How do you speak? What does your life look like surrounding you? What is emanating from your being? What is rippling out through you? And what is rippling into you? How is everything around you interacting with you as you are holding and embodying this truth? And now as you feel this, see this, sense this, experience this, open your palms, breathe deeply, feel the fullness of everything that is here, a part of you, everything connected in alignment, in orchestration with this truth. That every single person is in orchestration with you. Everything that has happened, not happened. Every moment that has come before, that has led to this moment, that will unfold, that is emerging into the next. All of this is in perfect orchestration with this truth. As you breathe now, welcome the fullness of this truth into your heart, taking a deep, full breath, breathing this in, placing your palms right on your heart. Hold it here. And again, affirming, I am here. As you feel this truth, I am, it is not a singular individual. It is consciousness, spirit, soul, life, earth, air, fire, water, every insect, every creature, every person, everything. I am here. Ngali Gumara. I am here. Taking a deep, full breath in. As you feel this now, anchor this truth. Breathe it down into the core of your being, down into your base chakra, down into your body, through your blood, your cells vibrating, pulsing with this truth. Place your palms on your knees or on the earth. Feel yourself anchored. I am here. Here is truth. As you feel this now, pulsing through your being, vibrating through every cell, coursing through your blood, your vein, vibrating into, with the earth, through the roots of the trees, through the trunks, the branches, the leaves, the air, the wind, the clouds, the rain, the rivers, the mountains, the sky, the stars, the cosmos. Here we are. This one truth, this one dreaming here now, dreaming in all that is sacred in unity. And together in affirmation, so it is. So it is. Yada do. Yada do. Yadadu. As you feel this now, taking a breath into your body, feeling yourself here, grounded, anchored, aligned, centered, open, connected. Dadari, you are Dadari. Ngali Gumara, you are Ngali Gumara. We are Ngali Gumara. Here we are. And as you breathe this in now, feel your body just gently wiggle a little bit, stretch, move. And very, very slowly, gently open your eyes. And so slowly and gently that I want you to really be aware of the subtle seeing. That as you are opening your eyes, you are seeing the whole field. You are seeing. You are open. You are here. We are here. How good does that feel? So we're all the same after all, aren't we? Really, we're all the same. Made of the same stuff. And we all carry within us fear, hope, love, joy, truth, wonder, uncertainty, doubts. We all carry this. We all journey through these passages. And now more than ever, we are so acutely aware of this. Would you agree? We find ourselves in a really, really interesting time, don't we? Right. Okay, what are we going to do about it? Well, I think we're already doing it. Would you agree? We're doing it, aren't we? We are this work, this process, this redreaming, this recreation. We are this. And we know this is a time where it's pivotal. It's like a clash of paradigms. We've got this overlapping of cycles of time and place. So we've got the cycle, the paradigm of brokenness and violation, desecration. And we know that we are here to heal this too. I have this in my blood. We all, as humans, have this in our blood. As an Indigenous woman, it is very, very raw. As an Aboriginal person, this is very present. It is still here. We know being here on this country is a calling for all of us to acknowledge this and to recognise this and to be part of this rebuilding. For each of us to recognise our own transgressions and our powers of healing, our truth. We know that what this country represents is this. And thank you. My great love and acknowledgements to Uncle Cole and Aunty Lali and the people of this country, because this is a holding space for exactly this, for people to come together, to reconnect, to build bridges, to unite, for us to recognise far over and above our differences, our commonalities, what makes us the same. And that is where we are going to find the truths that make us strong to face what it is we have to face. Because yes, there are things we have to face. We are walking through a passage of fire. And this overlapping of paradigms that I speak of is what we're seeing happening in ourselves individually and collectively, all around us. We're seeing this every day now. The planet is in distress. Humanity is in crisis. We are facing so many upheavals. But what I want to speak of about this is this little bit in the middle. So we've got the history of the violation and the desecration, and we've got the future, the dreaming, the possibility, the hope, the knowing that we can be here as sacred community. We can restore kinship. We know that as children of earth, we are
a creation of love. And that it's in our blood, in our cells, that we belong in community, that we belong together, that we belong with Earth. We can't survive in isolation and separation from Earth. We cannot live an insular life. But that's what's been happening. And so in the overlap, it's really messy. It's really muddy. And we've got to get down and dirty and in the shit before we get to the other side of it. But hey, I'm not just going to throw you all in the muck. I want to talk about the process of us navigating that, and how even though it can look like we're in the shit and we're in that muck and we're in the pain, even though we are experiencing that, the reason we are is because really preceding all that pain, preceding the fear that I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I have to be something more, preceding those stories, I'm not loved, I'm not connected with you or you or you, I don't belong, preceding these stories of fear that I can't succeed, the fear that everything is going to be broken, preceding all these stories is the eternal, infinite knowing of the unbreakable oneness of creation, of cosmos, of consciousness, of spirit. That first and foremost, this is what we are. And this is what we will always remain. I'm going to share with you a brief little bit about my story, just to give some context of how it is that I'm sitting here with you now today. So yes, my bloodline, Mirrin Ngingali, that's from South Australia, my great-grandmother's songline and cultural country, travels through quite a lot of land because my great-grandmother was stolen from her tribe, put into a mission, and then stolen from the mission by the Giles expedition. She was taken on the Giles expedition all the way up, so from across the west coast of South Australia, up through central South Australia, Adnyamatna people, which is on my father's side, and all the way up into central desert country. She gave birth up there. So we have relations that are spread out all over the place. And then it happens that after all that brokenness and the stolen generation and all the secret, well, my mother and my father marry, and my mother is the Mirrin line and my father is the Adnyamatna line. Now, all of that was being kept secret in our family because of the shame, because of the loss, the brokenness, but I knew. I could hear my ancestors, I could hear the songs, the language, I could see everything. And I came in like that. I can see the energy frequencies of everything. So I don't see separation. I see one whole fabric. See, feel, experience this. As a result, I was guided and led to all sorts of things. Eventually, the truth came out, the story came out not long before my grandmother passed over. And of course, that sent in motion a whole process of acknowledgement in itself. But apart from that, we've then got, as a woman, as a human. So there I am as this spirit connected consciousness, knowing the eternity of my being. I'm very aware of my ancestors and the lineage and the responsibility that I was being called to. But there I am as a woman, and as a child I was abused. I was sexually assaulted multiple times. I was raped. And it reached a point where I couldn't endure that. So I left home. I became homeless. I was living on the streets when I was only 15 and a half. So I wasn't quite 16. And I was picked up by a couple who thought, what's this young girl doing sitting in an all-night cafe drinking chamomile tea? They thought, bring her with us. I had been having this recurring dream that I was being hunted and murdered. So I thought, I'm going to be safe. Well, Didn't turn out that way. A man who was living on the property decided he wanted me. And after having pursued me many times and trying to push his way on me, and I rejected his advances, he snapped and he started violating me brutally, trying to murder me. In that experience, because I had the power of connection, I knew that if I did not draw on those powers completely, I was going to die. So I drew on all those powers, and in that I experienced, and this is not an abstract thing. This is not a, philosophical kind of notion or concept. I was absolutely everything. I was the room. I was the man murdering this body, raping and murdering. I was the walls with my blood splattered everywhere, all over the carpet, everywhere, everything. And in that state of utter oneness, I saw into that man's soul. And I saw that he was so broken. He was so disconnected from love. That was why he violated me, because he felt so unloved and that his opportunity to take love had been pushed away. He would rather kill than be denied love. As I saw that, his brokenness, I prayed with every ounce of my being. It was this infinite ocean of love. May he know love. May he be loved. May he realize he is love. And in that moment, the entire room lit up. That room was full with angels. And that man, the murderer, he dropped to his knees. He said, "Oh my God, what have I done? I've killed an angel. Oh my God." That man became the savior. And this is no exaggeration. This is literally a man stopping in the middle of trying to murder me, stops, picks me up, carries me to the phone to call for emergency. This body slipped into a coma because when he realised what he had done, he had an awakening, right, through that event. He woke up, but he realised what he'd done and what was going to happen. So he slammed me into the wall again and he ran. So this body went into a coma. I could see everything. Everything. I could hear everything. And when this body was on the bed in the hospital, see, hear everything. Everything my mother, my father were thinking. My father thinking, my God, I've never told my daughter I love her. I might never get to tell her I love her. I was seeing all the lives. And what I saw was that for every single human being, whatever act of violation occurs, it rests on that. The brokenness, the disconnection from love, the loss of that connection. Every single wound we have is about that. And so I saw all human journeys. I saw all my lifetimes. I saw, oh, hang on a minute, that's right. Oh, I came here to do something. I better get back in my body. I went, right, slipped back in my body. Well, this body was very broken and swollen and everything, but my little eyes flickered a little bit and my father saw and he broke down in tears and he said, "I love you," for the first time in my life. That set in motion an incredible healing journey for our family. We're still not all back together. There are still secrets and division and brokenness. And you know what they say? You throw a plate on the ground and you glue it back together, it's never going to be the same plate. So this is not about us fooling ourselves into thinking that we can come here and resolve our brokenness and acknowledge this and walk away as if we're all shiny and new and it never happened. No, it happened. And we are always going to carry this. But let us carry it as gold. What's that beautiful Japanese art they do? Does anyone know the name of that? No, that means yeah, no, what's the name of the, it's that's it, whatever you said, yeah, that's it. And they put the gold on it. That's what we want to do. We want to put the gold on these cracks in our body, heart, and mind. That's what we want to do here. And so for me, for our people, oh, hello, someone brought me some food and a drink. I better have a drink.
Yeah, so for our people, there are many things that come into play with that, of how we seal those wounds. So I'm going to talk with you about some of the ways we can seal those gaps and how we can find deeper connection and what that means in your own life, in your own journey. I've been talking too much, so excuse me for a moment. I'm going to have a little quick drink. So, who here would say they need some gold for some of those little cracks, some of those wounds? Yeah. Yeah. Again, you see, we're all the same. And one of the things one of my elders said to me, which just, it was like, oh my God, it was like a thunder drum had just gone boom through my whole being. He said to me, always remember, this is the first law of our people. 1. You are one, but you are not number one. And that's the only way we're ever going to find unity, is to remember this. You know, we know that this passage we've been in, I talk about that overlapping the paradigm of brokenness and desecration. We know, like, okay, the Vedas speak of the Kali Yuga, you know, it's like the passage of darkness that we're in, and the fall into the ego. Well, that's it, isn't it? Really, if we look at it, it's all, well, number one. I'm number one. No, I'm number one. And where do all the fights come from? Where does the fight with yourself come from? If you look, the strange thing is, it's not even there's a one inside there with the fights or struggles you have with yourself. It's a whole mob in there. You've got all these voices complaining and arguing and debating, go this way, no, do that. No, should I do this? No, you can't do that. Watch that. But behind that mob is one. It is awareness. It is presence. It is pure being, pure spirit, consciousness. And so through the practice of dadari, that's what you can magnify. You can ground yourself in that. So I'm going to give you some basic principles to keep practicing dadari. And that is, first and foremost, where are you? Keep a check on that as often as you can every day and every moment. Where are you? And remind yourself. I gave you a little affirmation as we breathe through that whole meditation process. I am here. You can just remind yourself, just with those 3 words, like that. I am here. And whoop, you come back into the moment. Those 3 words are irrefutable. There is not anything in your body, energetically, or in your mind that can debate that, because it is the truth. Even if you are thinking about the past or you're trying to imagine the future, you're doing so here, right? So nothing can refute it. It puts you into a state of power. And I'm not going to do this now, but I've done it in other workshops where I'll do a kinesiology method, and you test the strength of the body, and you test before you make that statement, I am here. And pretty well every person is weak. You then test when you say, I am here, boom, you're in power. So that's the first principle, to come into Dadari. The second principle is your 5 senses. And I recommend that you start with the most gross and work your way to the most subtle of your senses. So it'll be, what are you physically feeling? Then it will be, what are you seeing? Then it'll be, what are you hearing? Then it will be, what are you tasting? Then it will be, what are you smelling? You can then add the 6th sense, which is, what are you sensing? Okay. And then when you go even deeper, you transcend the senses and you merge with all creation where it's all co-occurring. That's true Dadari. Okay. There's no division. So it's formlessness. That's actually what happens in Dadari. That's that interrelationship between form and formlessness. So if every day you actively engage your attention in this way, you'll strengthen your capacity to walk and live in Dadari. And as I said right at the beginning, unless we can get into that receptive state, we can't see, feel, know, hear, or be in touch with what it is we need to see, feel, hear, know, or be in touch with. And as long as that's happening, there's some gap in our connection. Something is disconnected. Now, there's another element to that. So I'm going to ask you to think back to, what message did you get about disconnection? Whether it's how you treat your body or the type of stories you tell yourself or the company you keep or the activities you do. Underlying all of those, there's going to be some very common psychological factors. So what is the thing that creates the most connection? What creates the most connection? Love. What creates the most disconnection? Well, okay, so usually we say fear. Actually, it's judgment that crushes love. And it's that judgment that sets in motion fear. So that's another thing you can explore even more deeply at some point is, what are you still judging in yourself or about your life or about others? And that's where you'll find one of your biggest gaps, and you start bringing in the gold. Because once you can acknowledge what you're still judging, you can ask yourself, why? What do I need to learn? What am I afraid of in this judgment? And really, it all comes back to, because I want to be loved, because I want to be accepted, because I want to belong, because I don't want to be ostracized and alienated. I want to belong. Isn't that true? If I ask you, what was your biggest pain when you were a child? What would it be? You were afraid your friends were going to judge you and kick you out of the social group. You were afraid your mum or dad didn't understand you and were judging you, right? That's the biggest pain, the feeling that somehow we're not right, we don't belong. And how many of you would say you felt the same? I know as a child, I felt so alien, and I was treated like a real, like I was a bit woo. But you know what? At one point, I really did think I was going a bit crazy until the unicorn in the bathroom told me, no, you're right. So it's true, isn't it? Really. And so here we might be adults. Yes, there's some children around, but we're still children sitting here wanting to be loved, wanting to belong, knowing that we do belong. So as you look at your judgments, what can you do about that? Transmuted in love. Yeah, and how that begins is actually dadari. So again, it comes back to this first practice. In terms of actual practice, it's dadari. Because if you've got a judgment, some part of you is going to keep running off elsewhere, running away with other stories, trying to get away from that pain because you're afraid of it. You think, oh no, if I acknowledge that madness, I'll really go crazy. Well, you know what? Maybe you need to go crazy for a few moments. Nothing lasts forever. But in that dadari is this transcendent presence that is not judgmental. It just listens. It just feels. It is like a mother, like a father that just sits there and holds the child. He says, it's okay. I'm just going to be here with you. And from that, then the guidance, the knowledge, the wisdom starts to come in. So don't be in a hurry to get to the answer. Sit. Just sit with it. Okay? Can I get a check on the time? Because I'm not good with time. Like, I can just go and... Is that all I got left? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go over, what I refer to as the 4 pillars. And this can serve you as a map. This is, well, actually it underlies all indigenous cultures around the world. And so for my people, for my ancestors, these are the 4 pillars of law that we live by. And if one of these pillars is disturbed, things get a little bit uneasy. If 2 are disturbed, it becomes unsteady. If 3 are disturbed, it starts to tip over. You disturb 4 and it falls apart. And this is what's happening on the planet. This is what we're seeing. So the 4 pillars rest on the one principle, which I already mentioned before. My elder said to me, always the first law, and the 4 pillars all sit within that. The first law, 1, Ngali Gumara, 1, not one, many. So Ngali, 1. Everything is one, not one. Everything is interconnected as one being and unique and distinct. It has many tangents and many dimensions and many aspects. So there are many layers to the laws. And that's why for our people it starts as a child. Now, even though I grew up with, things secret, etc., I was still with mob as well. I was going through all of those learnings and initiations and growing through those discoveries. So that's why for our people it starts at that beginning. And you've got to earn your way through it. You've got to learn your way through it. You don't just get everything all in one hit. So the basics that we start with, that we pin everything on, and they're there from the very beginning all the way up to the highest and the deepest of law and knowledge. The 4 principles are country, Walja, family. So Mura, country, Walja, family, spirit, our soul, and the cosmos. So that is country, family/kinship, our soul and spirit, and the cosmos, the laws. Why country comes first? We're born from Earth. We didn't land here. How many of you just kind of plopped onto the planet? No, we emerge from Earth. We are born from her. We're born from the trees, the soil, the air, the rivers. This is what we're born from. We come in because of her. So country, family, Walja, kinship. That means not just the family you're born through, but your whole community, and not just human community, but all the animals, all the creatures, all the insects, all the rocks, everything. That's kinja, that kinship, that's family. Soul, spirit, that we all come from that source of energy, creation, dreaming. We all have a unique thread, yet are part of that one whole. So I like to use the analogy of an ocean, and that within that ocean is waves and currents and streams, and there's the whole ocean. So you've got drops, etc. So here we are as soul. We have a stream that we come through lifetime upon lifetime, and it rises like a wave into this lifetime, and you see it, and then it subsides again. And always it merges back into the ocean. But why that's important? Because we have to be true to our unique expression. We can't lose that. And in kinship, we respect and honor that. Every person is respected, is sacred, is honored, is revered, and is nurtured to be their authentic self. And then when we come to the laws of the cosmos, we understand, okay, everything has patterns to it. There are laws behind creation, and none of us can escape that. None of us are exclusive or above it or beyond it. And that keeps us humble. That keeps us always looking to the laws of creation itself for the truth, for the way, to show us what is needed. And so, if you pay attention to each of these 4 pillars every day in your life, you will start to see where things are a little bit wobbly or weak or disconnected, and sit in Dadari with it. Learn how to rebuild the fabric of those 4 pillars in your own life. And the more each of us does that as individual and comes together in community, then the stronger we become individually and as community. So if we look at the world as it is, look what's happened. So with the dispossession from country, look what happened to our people, my ancestors. And I acknowledge I've got the blood of, the Celtic and the Scottish and the Spanish in me as well. Okay. And it's a very interesting thing to have the blood of, the desecrators as well as the sacred, the ancient ones. That's a very interesting thing. But in looking at what's happening, we see at that moment of dispossession from country, that's where everything started to unravel. And it's just that most people, like I said, Aboriginal people, it's very raw for us. It's still very present, very current. For European people or, people of other nation or culture, it's so far back, that dispossession, it's gone so far back. It's buried way, way, way in the unconscious recesses that most people don't even know. That's why you feel such grief that you can't explain. That's why there is fear and doubt and pain, because of that disconnection. And how does that tie in with the principle then of love and belonging? Because if we're not plugged into earth, we're tapped out of the biggest source of love there is. Every single creature is here loving us. Every single blade of grass, every cloud, all the rivers, everything here is filling us with life force, is nurturing us with love. So you walk around with rubber soles on your feet, you go and you sit in a concrete box, you cut yourself off from country, you don't even know the tree that you walk past every day, you don't even greet it and say thank you. You're so disconnected, and you wonder why you feel depleted of love, and you pray and you hope you're going to meet the right one, my right one, so I can finally have a love that's not going to leave me, and then I'll have enough love. And then you find that, and then you start arguing and breaking each other apart, and then your love falls apart again, and you wonder why there's not enough love. So for me, I feel the most important focus we can all have is this rebuilding our attention and connection with country. And as we do, we open in so many different ways, in ways that we could not have ever imagined. And then we bring that into kinship. We bring that in truth through our own soul. And then we really start to truly see the laws for what they are. And we are home again. And we are true again. And we know that we never left and that we have always belonged, because we are truly always this. Ngali kumera. So, where's my... I would like to invite us all again to rest here in what has been received, in everything we are receiving, in gratitude, and that whatever has been received here that is serving you, that you cherish it, that you don't let it go to waste, that you put it to action, that you share it, because each and every one of us is needed. Remember, one, not number one. Thank you.
Ngai ngā Ilang ngamalang 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 Yaraway Yandu Akanaka, Yandu Widaga, Yandu Wildueri, Wandu Murum, Yela, Ngainga Ngamala, Ngamala, Ngalikumara, 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 Ngalikumara. Ngaligumara Wanyo Palia. I invite you now with that to place your hands on earth and acknowledge your commitment and honouring of truth within you and all around you. And with that commitment and acknowledgement, breathing that back up into your heart. And again with that beautiful affirmation, I am here. I love you all as self. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Palio. Where are we?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. There's so much more to come, I know. And again, just such love and gratitude. Thank you for sharing and being a part of it.